and a pressure is mounting on the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. The Pakistani Supreme Court has now asked for a commission to be set up to look into the Panama Papers leak, which implicates Nawaz Sharif. Pakistan's party, the Tehreek-e-Insaf, led by Imran Khan, in fact, called off his 2nd November lockdown in Islamabad. Of course, that is tomorrow, claiming victory. So he's claiming victory for that. Remember, the leaks revealed that 3 of Nawaz Sharif's children own offshore companies and assets which were not shown on his family's wealth statement. And it has been alleged that those companies were used for money laundering and tax evasion. All right, let's, okay, Zak, I'm going to come back to you on that. What does this then mean for Nawaz Sharif?
Oh, politically, this is extremely damaging for him, not least because this is exactly what he's been trying to avoid for the last 6 months, ever since the Panama leaks came out. The information therein directly implicates his daughter Mariam as well as his 2 sons, including the businessman's son who operates outside of Pakistan. It clearly implicates his children as having diverted funds, as having evaded taxes, and then siphoned off money from Pakistan in his first 2 terms in the 90s as Prime Minister. So it's precisely what Nawaz Sharif has been avoiding all these last 6 months, constituting some kind of an inquiry to look into the Panama leaks. The Supreme Court of Pakistan, in a sense, has forced his hand, and that is now leading to Imran Khan claiming that, look, this is because of what I had threatened to do. I had threatened to institute a lockdown of Islamabad, and now he's converted that lockdown of Islamabad, which was scheduled to happen from tomorrow. He's now making that into a victory rally of sorts. So clearly, politically, this is damaging for Nawaz Sharif.
And Zaka, just to stretch that a little bit, to understand what it means in the Indian context, especially in the current atmosphere between India and Pakistan, where things are so tense, that we're looking at a person who's leading the country, who's facing some very serious charges.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this could work 2 ways. Either this could completely singe Nawaz Sharif because, like you said, you know, hostilities on the eastern border with India are rising virtually with every passing day. Things are not good on the western front either. The Afghans have been openly accusing Pakistan of lying and of promoting the Haqqanis and so on. Terrorism continues to be a huge problem. Most notably, just last week, you had the massive Quetta attack at the police training academy. And on top of that, you have a civil-military sort of rift, which has been brought to the fore by Cyril Almeida's story. So all of these, you know, different fires could really singe Nawaz Sharif, or on the contrary, he could use one of these, most notably and most easily, I think, the hostility with India, to try and then divert attention from the political pressures that he's facing domestically, whether it's from Imran Khan or whether it's from his strained ties with the army. Remember, he also has to name a new army chief because Raheel Sharif's term ends on the 29th of November. The buzz that we're picking up is that that announcement might come in the next few days.
All right, Zaka, hold on for a moment. Let's just quickly get a view from Pakistan. Senior journalist Arsalan Bhatti is joining us live from Lahore via Skype. Thanks very much, Mr. Bhatti, for being with us here on CNN News 18. Can you do shed some light on what is it at the moment, what the latest is and the status of that commission inquiry that has been asked to be set up by the Supreme Court against Nawaz Sharif, and what it really means for the Pakistani Prime Minister, Mr. Bhatti?
First of all, the Supreme Court in today's hearing, the much pressure, the much worriness of the government has been released now, because while the Prime Minister had already announced that he is ready to appear before any commission, he is ready for inquiry, he had presented himself before the Supreme Court. He said he is surrendering himself before the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Now the Supreme Court announced that from the day after tomorrow, it will start hearing both the parties who are in questions, especially on Panama leaks. So there is no question about, and there is no doubt about it, that now the commission is going to work hard. That's why Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan agreed, and he postponed his sit-in in Islamabad. They were locking down Islamabad. Now he will just hold a simple public meeting, that is Thanksgiving public meeting in Islamabad.
This kind of, Mr. Bhatti, this kind of pressure, does it mean, as in the current scenario at least, an end game for Nawaz Sharif? Is that the kind of pressure that he's facing at the moment?
No. It is not end game, but this is the good survival, a good or safe exit had been given to the Prime Minister. So he will already, there is no conflict between the 2 parties, but there is a conflict on terms of references on the government and the opposition side. The opposition wanted inclusion of Mr. Nawaz Sharif in the terms of references. But the government side always rejected that demand of the opposition that the law is not particularly for any particular person. It is general law. The Prime Minister, if they wanted trial of a Prime Minister, it should be tried in general law, not for the specific law. Now the Supreme Court had ordered both the parties, including the opposition, including the Treasury, the government party of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, to submit their terms of references or agree on it. If they didn't, they will make the terms of references by the Supreme Court of Pakistan, that commission or that the bunch of judges.
You know,
So
Mr.
now
Bhatti, sorry to interrupt you, but you know, a question that comes to mind from an Indian context, if I could bring in, you know, the larger narrative here between India and Pakistan. From here, we're looking at a leader who's leading the country at the moment in serious trouble, where the Supreme Court has come down asking for a commission to look into some serious allegations that have implicated Nawaz Sharif. I mean, where does that leave the leader of the country at the moment, who perhaps, you know, has a lot of important work to sort out when it comes to some serious trouble that is brewing between both countries?
This much is true that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had been in very hot waters till 3 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time today. But after the decision of Supreme Court, the Prime Minister had survived because the Prime Minister had already stated that he is ready to go for his trial from any apex court, from any law. But the terms of references, the difference between the opposition and government is terms of references are important. The most important thing is CPAC. Because the Prime Minister is the sole guarantor with some forces, they are the sole guarantors of that CPAC. But if now the Prime Minister had been given a very safe exit to survive, because Prime Minister had already stated, clearly stated that he is ready to face any trial in any court of the country.